The Sun is the closest star to us. But do you know which star is the second closest to our Earth? Stay with us a little longer to learn this and more. Common perception is that humans are all alone in this time and space, that we are the only beings in the universe. But what do time and space actually mean in this context? Well, when it comes to the matters of time and space, whose definition are you going to believe? None other than NASA, right? So let us get NASA early into the game. According to NASA's definition, the term universe just about encompasses everything. Space, time, matter, and energy that space contains. Oh, and you too. How did this happen? Which cosmological model explains the events that led to where things are today? The Big Bang Theory, of course. Not the popular American sitcom, but the revolutionary theory that was proposed by George Lemaitre first. The theory offers a comprehensive explanation of universe expansion from the initial state of high temperature and density, hence the popularity. Sounds fair, right? We would like to assume that you are watching this video from planet Earth, because if you're not, that would be the freakiest event post-pandemic. But let us continue with the happy assumption, which leads to a question. Where do you exactly stand in the universe? Some of you are already thinking about sand grains and dust specks, the vague terms in which our relative positions in the vastness of the universe is often described. Works for some, but not for us. Let us analyze things from a numerical perspective. The sun and moon practically dictate how we live our lives. We set our eyes on these cosmological entities every day. They seem quite close, right? Well, the moon is just 384,400 kilometers away from Earth, so we cannot consider this quite close. Consider this. 30 Earths could fit in this distance. The 12 of our species who were part of the lunar landings traveled all this distance to make history. Let that sink in. The moon is far off, but hey, what about the good old sun? It is about 150.97 million kilometers far away from the planet Earth. The next item on the agenda for most of you is going to be Mars, which is kind of understandable given the hype that the planet is always wrapped in. Hate to break it to you, but Mars is 394.37 million kilometers away from your current position on Earth. That is just an average. The Moon, Sun, Mars, and other planets in our solar system are not that close at all. But if you are thinking it is the solar system at which one starts drawing boundaries, you couldn't be more wrong. Time for some basic physics revision. The solar system is just a gravitationally bound system of the Sun and objects that orbit it. Here the term objects refers to not only the 8 planets but the dwarf planets, smaller objects, and other small solar system bodies as well. The point of this lecture? To get your basics all in order before we share the mind-numbing realities of the universe that exist beyond the solar system. Our solar system is located within the most popular galaxy, the Milky Way. A galaxy, by the way, is a huge collection of gas, dust, and billions of stars and their solar systems. The Milky Way is only one of the billions of galaxies in the world. It really doesn't sink in at first, but saying it out loud repeatedly will help. Our Sun, one of the billions of stars in the Milky Way, is located in the Orion Cygnus arm. Galaxies have different shapes. Milky Way is a spiral one, but others have elliptical like the M89, a ring like Hoag's object, and lenticular like the Cartwheel galaxy. The Milky Way is not all alone though. It has some friendly galaxies to keep it company. Their number is around 30. One of the coolest friends that the Milky Way has made is Andromeda, which neither refers to the daughter of King Cepheus and Queen Cassiope, nor is a spider from the Harry Potter series. Andromeda's importance lies in the fact that it is the closest major galaxy to Earth. Moreover, if you're really lucky to have an unusually dark sky, you will be able to spot it from Earth. Cosmic, isn't it? A reference unit that we haven't mentioned yet for the sake of keeping things simple is the light year. It is a unit of length that is used to express astronomical units and equals 9.46 trillion kilometers or 5.88 trillion miles. Make a little note of this, for this unit will be used frequently from this point onwards. On September 5th, 1977, a space probe called Voyager 1 was launched by NASA as part of the Voyager program to study the outer solar system and interstellar space. Voyager 1 will remain within the confines of the solar system for at least another 14,000 to 28,000 years. Fasten your seatbelts, even if you are not riding on the Voyager 1 though. We will be transcending some cosmic boundaries from this point onwards in this video. Once we leave the solar system, we set foot in the less-known interstellar neighborhood. Proxima Centauri is the second closest star to our planet Earth. Now the curiosity that we ignited at the beginning of this video must be satisfied. But hang on for a minute. At this point, the word closest has kind of lost its meaning. In the case of Proxima Centauri, it is just 4.24 light-years away from us. Beyond Proxima, it is all just about zooming out and out until we get to see the entire universe on our NASA maps. But wait a minute. Your idea of the entire universe might not be the same as the one given by astrophysicists. Keep watching for the surprise. In the meantime, let us continue our journey from Proxima Centauri to the entire Milky Way. The Milky Way spans over 100,000 light-years. Stunning, right? But the mind-numbing navigation of the universe doesn't stop here. We are beginning to sound a little redundant at this point, but this is hardly the end point. Hover your cursor to zoom out on the landscape, or should we call it the universe-scape. Once more, and click. Now you are staring at the local group. This term refers to a group of 54 galaxies that are about 10 million light-years across. Just a kind of reminder that a light-year equals 9.46 trillion kilometers. The coolest members of this gang of galaxies include our very own superstar, the Milky Way, the Andromeda Galaxy, and the Triangulum Galaxy. We say coolest, but that is just a euphemism for giants. The local group of galaxies is located on the outskirts of what is known as the Virgo supercluster. The reference unit switches from galaxies to groups once we enter the Virgo supercluster. We're talking about at least 100 groups like the local group that is twinkling in the Virgo supercluster. Even the word massive doesn't cover it properly. The distance? 110 million light-years. Think of a word fancier than massive for this one, folks. But even the word massive kind of loses its meaning when one finds out that the massive Virgo supercluster is nothing but a tiny lobe of the Laniakea supercluster. This cluster spans over 520 million light-years. To give some countable context to this universe-scaping that is getting a little insane, let us mention it here that the Laniakea supercluster homes around 100,000 galaxies, including our very own, the Milky Way. And just like the way the Milky Way is not alone in this universe, the Laniakea supercluster has got some super cool friends as well. Some of these supercluster friends include the Shapley supercluster, the Hercules supercluster, and the Coma supercluster. It is like being sucked in a hole and pass by all these galaxies and groups as a whirl of wind. Only the direction is outwards into the space and not downwards into the Earth. Our ride ends at the observable universe, which means all stops are covered. It is important to comprehend what does the term observable universe mean. A careful estimate suggests that the observable universe has around 2 trillion galaxies. Yep, you heard that right. Another estimation places the width of the entire observable universe at 93 billion light-years across. Titanic rank figures these. Now, you can talk in terms of grains of sands, and it will make more sense than it might have at the beginning of this video. And now we share with you the most startling fact about the observable universe. It is just a teeny tiny fraction of what forms the entire universe. I must insist on keeping the reference between the terms observable universe and the entire universe all the time. In simplest terms, the observable universe is what we know of, or we can see with the help of giant telescopes in the years to come. On the other hand, describing the entire universe is kind of difficult, simply because we're not sure what does it consist of. You see, there are spaces very far away from our Earth, which at this point in the video just feels like a drop in the Pacific, that are expanding at a very fast rate. Believe us when we say fast. It is expansion at a speed that is greater than the speed of light. So you can bid goodbye to the thought that the light from these places will ever bounce on our Earth. Kind of depressing, but hey, at least we've got the observable universe to keep us busy for several billion light years. Trust humans to try not exploring the unexplorable. There is a theory that gives us a fair idea about the size of the entire universe. This theory is called the theory of cosmic inflation, which sounds like it is about the world economy post-COVID pandemic, but it's not. And it was put forward by the father of cosmic inflation, Dr. Alan Guth. In the simplest possible terms, our entire universe is 150 sextillion times the size of the observable universe. Oh, and a sextillion has 23 zeros. Thought we would let you know that anyway. Let us recap things by using the power of analogies. If the entire universe is a mountain, our Earth is just a pebble lying at its very base. If the universe is an ocean, Earth is not even a small stream that stems from one of its corners. Measuring this vastness of the entire universe seems like a daunting challenge itself. But as William Faulkner said, you cannot swim for new horizons until you dare to lose sight of the shore. Exploration must go on, for there are stars out there whose light can change the fate of humanity. Remember that the Sun is only one of these stars. There are billions more. If you like this video, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to this channel.